Hello and welcome to the Foot Geeks. My name is CJ and today we'll be talking about hammer toes. Hammer toes are most commonly found in the lesser toes. So usually you don't find it in the big toes so much, but mostly in the lesser toes because these have two joints. So there's the metatarsal joint, which is this one right here, and then there's two more joints. As you can see when I pull them apart, there's two more joints there that can be deformed. They either point down or in some cases point forward, and as a result you end up with sometimes rubbing on top. Potentially there may be some corns on the top of this joint. Maybe you're getting some extra pressure on the ball of the foot. A lot of times we'll see calluses either on the second or the third metatarsal where the hammer toe is, and as a result we may have to accommodate that with an orthotic device to help take some of the pressure off, prevent the weight from being put on that area, and bring it back into the arches of the foot. Now there's also a number of different ways to accommodate hammer toes with off-the-shelf devices and shoes. Now one of the things that you want to look for when you have hammer toes and they're extremely sensitive, maybe very uncomfortable, there may be things like toe trainers. So toe trainers allow you to hook the toes together to help keep them down, especially if there's only one toe that's kind of pointing up and the other one is flat. You can hook your second and your third toes together to help get the toes down. Now this only works if your hammer toe is flexible, and the way you can test whether or not the hammer toe is flexible is take the toe. So let's say it's like this, right? And then if you take the tip of the toe and you can pull it straight, it's a flexible hammer toe. If it's a rigid hammer toe, means that it doesn't move. So it doesn't matter how much you pull, the joint itself is locked. There's probably some arthritic changes in the joint which is not going to allow you to really straighten that toe at all, and those types of devices are not going to be very effective. And that's something that you want to remember. When you have a more rigid toe, you may want to use things like hammer toe crests. That's a little gel crest that can put some additional weight into the crest area. So if this is the ball of the foot, these are the tips of your toes, and that middle part right there is what we call the toe crest. And the idea with the gel hammer toe crest is to fill in that gap, prevent pressure on the tips of the toes, prevent a little bit of pressure on the ball of the foot, and as a result help promote weight distribution a little better through the toes. Now you can also use things like these hammer toe, these toe cushions right here. That's not designed for hammer toes specifically, but it will help keep friction at bay between the toes, and at the same time you can use it as a device to help, again, offload pressure, just like the gel toe crest that I showed previously. If you have very flexible toes, in some cases we've had success with things like the correct toes to help straighten and align the toes, and pretty much what you want to do is pull the hammer toes through the spreader itself, and then help improve the alignment of the toe, stretch it out a little bit, make sure that the toe itself isn't curling up as much, and therefore reduces tension and potentially helps to relax the toes a little bit, getting them into a better position. Now other things, if you can't really straighten that hammer toe, that's important and that can help, are things like this particular shoe right here, which has a little bit of a stretch upper. So as you can see, as I move my hand inside, the upper itself has the ability to stretch outward, and that can help reduce some friction and can help reduce some of the pressure on the hammer toe. Now if it's a very sensitive hammer toe, you really want to look for something that has extra depth. Extra depth shoes are usually shoes like this brand right here. That's the Drew shoe brand, as you can see with the two insoles I took out. Now there's two insoles inside there to allow you to create more room upward for the toes and prevent them from rubbing on the top of the shoe, and that's a great way to help relieve some of the pressure. Now there's also other brands like Portofino, which have extra depth shoes as well, and that's if you have really severe hammer toe issues, that may be something that you want to do to help reduce pressure on the toes. Now if you have any other questions regarding hammer toes, you want to learn a little bit more about hammer toes, maybe have some other questions that you want us answered, please post them below. Have any comments, please post those below as well. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to us on YouTube, because we've got lots of great content coming down the pipeline, and we look forward to seeing you soon.